Welcome to That's Entertaining, the show where events, entertainment, and technology collide. I'm your host, Arthur Kay, coming to you live from Fusion Events HQ in Toronto, Canada, where the weather is as unpredictable as the Wi-Fi in a hotel ballroom. If you're watching live, please do say hello in the comments and let me know where you're watching from. Bonus points if you're somewhere warm because it's August and I'm already looking for my snow boots up here in Arctic Canada. All right, folks, we've got a jam-packed show for you today, so let's dive into what's on the docket. First up, we'll be talking about a new project that I am super excited about, That Show, which I'm producing for the incredible Liz Lathan and Nicole Osabodu. It's a fast-paced show, a new style show that's loaded with insights and expert takes, and I'll be sharing a clip from my debut as the entertainment correspondent, so stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And after that, we're diving into the main event, a conversation with an amazing guy, the one and only Eric Rutherford, senior producer at 1540 Creative Studio. We'll be unpacking some of the incredible events he's worked on, like the Hello, I Am Celine premiere, Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, the If premiere. We'll also chat about what it takes to create a truly memorable guest experience and whether the event industry has finally moved past the pandemic. Trust me, you don't want to miss this, so grab your coffee and settle in, and let's get this show on the road. So before we dive into today's show, I've got some exciting news that I wanted to share. I've been working on a new project that's got me more pumped than a kid in a candy store. It's for Liz Lathan and Nicole Osabodu's B2B event community called Club Ichi. Now, if you don't know Liz and Nicole, they're basically the dynamic duo of the event world. Think Batman and Robin, but with better style and way more glitter. The show is called That Show, the hub for amazing things. And let me tell you, it is going to be epic and has been epic. We are 2 episodes in, and the response has been absolutely amazing. It's a fast-paced, new-style show that's jam-packed with experts, insights, and probably more caffeine than is legally advisable. And guess what? Yours truly, moi, made my first appearance on the show as the entertainment correspondent. That's right, folks. I am officially the guy who tells you what's fun so you don't have to figure it out for your damn self. You're welcome. So before I bring on today's guest, Eric Rutherford, I thought I'd give you all a sneak peek of my debut on That Show. So sit back and relax and try not to spill your coffee. You're going to want to catch every moment of this. So let's check it out.
Speaking of lightening the load, I'm excited to bring up our behind-the-scenes master of the keys, Arthur Karakash with Fusion Events. You may know that Arthur is our master producer for these shows, but did you know that he's actually from the entertainment industry? He has some incredible ways to engage your attendees at your next event. He's seen some fun things that he's ready to share. Arthur, thanks for taking a break and stepping out from behind the curtain. Over to you.
Thank you, Liz, and welcome to the That's Entertaining segment of the show. Now, the holiday season is right around the corner, and you know what that means. It's time for corporate holiday parties. Now, I know what you're thinking. Not yet. Or, oh great, another round of awkward small talk, questionable catering, and someone's +1 who got way too comfortable at the open bar. But this year, I'm here to make a plea. Let's not let another holiday season go by without some serious forethought, especially when it comes to the entertainment. I mean, we've all been through enough the last few years, right? Between COVID, layoffs, budget cuts, and virtual parties that were really just Zoom meetings with ugly sweaters. We can't afford to phone it in again. The stakes are too high, folks. The holiday party is the one time of year we can remind everyone why we love working together and why we sometimes need a little liquid courage to do so. But here's the thing. Entertainment is often the afterthought, oh yeah, we need a DJ moment that happens 2 weeks before the event, and then what do you get? A DJ who only knows how to play the Macarena on repeat, or a band whose biggest hit was in 1994. We can do better. And this got me thinking, what if we had a way to test our holiday party entertainment options? Like, say, A giant A-B test. What if we could see what works and what doesn't before committing to a single potentially disastrous choice? Well, lucky for us, we've just had the world's greatest A-B test for event entertainment happen right before our eyes. Two massive events, each with their own approach to entertainment. And let me tell you, the results are illuminating. Let's call it Event A and Event B for now. Event A brought out the big guns, Stevie Wonder, John Legend, Pink. It was like they opened the event with a concert that could sell out arenas. You could practically feel the good vibes through the screen. People were dancing, singing along, and let's be honest, probably texting their friends like, OMG, you won't believe who's performing right now. And here's the best part. Event A wasn't just about what the organizers wanted. It was about making the attendees feel like they were part of something big, something special. It was an event designed for everyone to enjoy, from the VIPs to the folks in the back row. Then there was Event B. Event B had Kid Rock. Now, don't get me wrong, Kid Rock has his moments, but those moments are usually in a bar at 2 a.m. when everyone's got too much alcohol in their system and nobody really cares what's playing. So Event B felt like it was designed with one person in mind, the boss, who insists on bringing back the good old days when Sweet Home Alabama was the height of cool. The result, an event that was more about fulfilling a nostalgic fantasy than actually engaging the people who were there. Event A was a masterclass in how to keep an audience engaged, something every event professional dreams of. You could feel the rhythm, the energy, the I'm actually going to enjoy this vibe that we all strive for in events. Event B, well, it was like someone threw a wedding and forgot to invite the band. Or worse, they invited a band, but the band only knows the chicken dance. Let's take a look.
Maintaining order during the roll call is extremely important.
Yeah!
Iowa, 40 delegates.
Dude, you gotta do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here tonight to officially nominate Kamala Harris for president.
Donald J. Trump.
Five, get loud, another round of shots. DNC, turn out for what?
Oklahoma, 43 votes, President Trump.
We're not going back. We're not going back.
West Virginia, 32 votes, President Donald J. Trump.
E.T. Harris, give it a wow.
But here's the kicker. These events weren't just any events. Oh no. Event A was the Democratic National Convention, and Event B, well, that was the Republican National Convention. And yes, folks, we just witnessed the ultimate A-B test of event entertainment. The DNC showed us what happens when you invest in top-tier entertainment and make everyone feel included, while the RNC, well, it showed us what happens when you cater to what the top brass likes and forget to think about the people in the room. Now, you might be thinking, this is about more than just entertainment, right? Sure, but let's face it, when the highlight of your event is a speech that's outshined by the musical number that preceded it, you know you've got a problem. So if there's one takeaway here, it's whether you're planning your holiday party or the next big convention, don't skimp on the entertainment. And remember, it's not just about making the boss happy. It's about making sure everyone feels like they're part of something special, because the difference between a night to remember and a night you wish you could forget is just one Kid Rock away. Back to you, Liz. Not bad, right? I mean, I haven't been that nervous since my last high school dance, but I think I pulled it off. And yes, the views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the official position of Club Ichi, Fusion Events, That's Entertaining, its affiliates, or any other organization. Any content provided by our hosts, guests, or commentators is their opinion and is not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything at all. You heard me? All right. Now, let's get back to business. Today's guest is someone who's been at the intersection of entertainment, fashion, and production for years. His career is like a fine wine. It just keeps getting better with age. I'm talking about the one and only Eric Rutherford. Now, Eric's story is a little bit like Benjamin Button's, except instead of aging backwards, he's just gotten cooler, more stylish, and more influential with time. Eric started out as an actor and model. You know, the kind of guy you see in a magazine and think, does this person even know what carbs are? But what's really amazing is how he transitioned from being in front of the camera to running the show behind it. Today, he's a senior producer at 1540 Creative Studio, where he's working on some of the most innovative and jaw-dropping events out there. And if that wasn't impressive enough, he's also a social media influencer with over 230,000 followers on Instagram. This guy has his finger on the pulse of what's hot and what's happening. So you got to trust me, this guy is super cool and you're going to want to meet him. So please, without further ado, let's welcome to the show the man who makes everything look effortless, except maybe getting a tan, Eric Rutherford. But first, before we do that, I want to show you a cool little sizzle reel from 1540 Productions, just so you can get an idea of how awesome these guys are. Check this out.
Said it ain't a fact. He turned around and took it back. Gotta make her own mind. Gotta take her own time. But if you play their game, you lose. And like a bird, your wallet's gone. You carry on. There's nothing else that you can do. Don't get caught up. All that double talking, double talking. Don't get caught up. All that double talking. Don't get caught up. All that double talking. Here today and gone again. Alibi is wearing thin. Gotta take your own time. Gotta make your own mind. Ain't nothing left that you can you. And like a bird, your wallet's gone, the bird is found. 'Cause if you play, you will. Yeah, fool.
Eric, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? It's nice to be here.
I'm wonderful, thank you. I'm so inspired by watching all the amazing events that 1540 has produced. You have like a dream job.
I do have a dream job. Today I'm watching that sizzle reel play back again. I was like, I'm inspired all over again.
Well, that's amazing. So I want to learn a little bit more about you before we get into it. So your career has taken some fascinating turns, from acting and modeling to becoming a powerhouse behind some of the most stunning events in Hollywood. Can you take us back to the beginning? How did you first get started in the world of event production, and what led you to working on these incredible Hollywood premieres and high profile projects at 1540?
Well, I've always called myself a storyteller, even from a very small age. I was performing with live shows, theater, from the time I was 10 years old. And I moved out to LA to attend a theater school out there. And in between, as many of you know, in the entertainment industry, especially as an actor or as a model, you have a job and then you've got free time. You've got a job, free time, your auditions, many auditions. And at that moment, I happened to know two people in the event industry. And they were kind enough to offer, like, hey, you know what? You'll appreciate this. You want to come and learn how to put on an event, from the production side. And then another friend of mine ran a catering company and said, why don't you come from the hospitality side and learn how that functions? And so I really started from the ground up. And then I was doing that concurrently with the two careers, we'll say. And at a certain point, as many of you know, one begins to take over. And I found such joy and excitement of creating something from nothing, right? It's very theatrical in itself. And I was involved with the event business for many, many years, and 1540 being one of them, when I lived in LA. And then I pivoted a few years ago with the rise of social media.
Was that pandemic related, or you pivoted?
Actually, just before, because
you're such a trendsetter, you were pivoting even before the pandemic.
Yes, I was pivoting, or I was multi-hyphenating myself.
Right.
Listen, which is, everyone now does something, or you're able to do that. It's not looked upon as or as negatively as may have been years before. But I had a moment because of social media and producing events, particularly with a lot of the studios or streamers. It's like, what is the social strategy that we're going to have be part of these events? And so because I was posting, and it's mainly to support my clients, I had other brands reaching out to me because they liked what I was doing. They liked the story that I was telling. They like how the positivity that I presented and shared. And also too, I happen to be a little older. I like to say at that point I was an old man at a young man's game, so to speak. And
well, I love to hear that because, being now in my 40s, I would like to think I haven't reached my prime yet, that there's still room to grow, so that makes me, have something to look forward to. Like I haven't, peaked out yet.
Gosh, no, not at all. I mean, listen, that was one of the greatest things that actually, and which I'm grateful for, is when that was happening, I was 47, 48 years old, and I'm 57 now. And for me, it opened up a whole other world. And I love producing events. I love making people happy. I love storytelling. I love creating a moment, as you were talking about, a moment that is memorable for people, that hits them emotionally, and that they can walk away from and always reflect back on with a big smile on their face, right? And so I thought that was going to be my career chapter. And then when with the rise of social media and the power that has, it opened up a whole other, we'll say it's a third career for me, fourth career. And so I did that for many, many years, and relocated, was in New York, achieved a level of success and loved all of it. And an opportunity came around, and I still remain friends with the owner of the company, the creative director of the company, Craig. And I like being busy. I like juggling many, many different plates. And I also love living in New York, and I have great passion for this city. And 1540 does 70, 80 plus events a year in the city. But we're primarily based in LA, but we also have production here. But we never had someone who lived here. And so I saw an opportunity to combine many of the things, my history, my excitement for the city, my experience, my passion for people. And he loved the idea. And so I've been back working with them for like the last 2 years. So it's kind of been this wonderful kind of circle moment for me.
That's awesome. So I want to share with people some of the work that you've been involved with, so they can also get a sense. And also, when I show this clip, so this is from the IF premiere, and we're also going to play a little game, and it's like Where's Waldo, except it's Where's Eric. Okay, see, I want you folks watching to see if you can spot Eric. He didn't tell me this, but I watched the video, and then I watched it again, and I happened to catch Eric out of the corner of my eye. Did you know you're in this video?
I did not.
You did not? Okay, so you can play along. You can play
Yes.
along. So let's see if we can play Spot Eric and check out this amazing premiere from IF.
I think that the idea that you have to give up on your childhood, that you lose all your dreams and hopes and ambitions and love is not true. And so as you're growing up, you can take your inner child with you. Here's the truth. I know I'm never going to have a better cast than this, ever, no matter what movie I do after this. They all jumped on board. I've never had faster yeses before, but they all did it because they said they believed in the movie. They believe in this idea of reaching your inner child, but also putting good out in the world.
Did you spot Eric?
I didn't.
You didn't spot Eric?
No. I hope the audience did.
Okay, I'm gonna let me find this and I'm gonna show you here. Okay, hang on one sec. Where did I put it? Okay, I'm gonna show you. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's actually the very end of the video. See if you can spot Eric. Okay, hold on. Oh, he's in this shot right now.
Yep.
You see him? He's right next to that black fence. He's wearing a black jacket. He's holding a water bottle, and he's walking off the red carpet now and down there. And there's Eric.
Oh.
So Eric, I want to ask you, so you've been at the forefront of creating these unforgettable guest experiences. And in your opinion, what elements are essential to transforming an event from just another gathering into something truly memorable?
Oh God. I mean, the first thing that pops into my mind that I always think about is what's the story that you're telling? You know, what is the purpose of it? What are the people involved? What are you hoping to achieve, right? In any production, there's specifics, you know, and you meet with, you know, you always start with that meeting with the client, right? And you listen to what they want, what their hope is, what their goals are, what they need to achieve. And so then you take all of those elements and then you begin to build upon that. And always remember, like, you know, you can have the biggest dream about what you want to create. Like, you know, perfect example is the IF premiere. And you want it to embrace the film, you know, or embrace the fan experience. So you begin to build those things with all those different details. And then also then you have to layer in what you want the guest experience to be, because you can have this grand dream of something, but it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't achieve the goal, or it only achieves one of those goals. And there's three things that you want to do. So, you know, what I like to do is listen, learn, take a step back, bring all the talented people, particularly at 1540, every department has this level of exceptionalism, and bring everybody to sit at the table to begin to build what this event would look like, and then go back, present it and share it. And you begin to hone it. Because, you know, you talk about the details. Success is in the details. Again, you could have like the most fantastic purple carpet, but there has to be everything else that supports that as well. So that's what I like to, when I talk with a client, I like to put all those elements into place, and then work towards achieving those.
And do you have some examples of like, from like the IF premiere, for example, were there some ideas that came to fruition or didn't come to fruition, and how maybe you can sort of like explain some of the fan engagement? Because I know that's a really big part of these premieres.
So.
Yeah, and creating that buzz, that social sharing and all that stuff. So maybe you can, I've never actually been to a Hollywood premiere, so I don't know.
We gotta change that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So tell me, what is it like? What is the experience like for a fan to attend?
Well, that's it. So the fan experience has very much become a part of producing these events now. And again, I think it's always been there. But now when we are in the planning stages, you know, actually there's a few that I'm working on right now. The fan moment is very much layered into the actual event itself. You know, and again, you know, with the IF premiere, you know, once they decided that it was going to happen in New York, we went with the team and with the client, and we went around the city. We did the research. We looked at the different venues. We looked at the different neighborhoods, the different streets, you know, even with traffic flow and things like that. The theaters, you had to take into consideration all of those elements, so that you could maximize it, but also that it would still support what the goals were in achieving for this specific event. And what we did is we ended up doing one that was based in Midtown, that we could, and we wanted a very long step and repeat on this one. So we needed to have a location that could support that. And what we were able to find that in the theater that we chose. And again, we're all along working along with the client, talking this through how to achieve the vision. Like, you begin to bring all the elements together and you create renderings and you put together line plans and to make sure that it all works. And then it has to be able to function. You have to be able to load in, in a certain time period. You need to be able to get all the elements into place, whether it's scenic or lighting or power, or whatever it might be. All of those things need to come into place, are focusing on that location, because you could actually want to be in a certain location, but that location doesn't support the other aspects of the goals.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, this audience is full of event people, event planners, and we love to dive into the nitty-gritty details.
Sure.
And we all know that planning events, especially at the level of Hollywood premieres, involves navigating potentially a maze of decision makers, each with their own priorities and expectations. With events as high stakes as world premieres, can you walk us through what the chain of command looks like? How do you manage the layers of approvals and collaboration from the studio executives down to the on-ground production teams? And what are the timelines like? Can you actually get a quick decision in Hollywood?
Sure. Yeah, listen, I always look at it as a producer, right? You're at the center of the wheel and you have all these spokes going out, and all of those spokes, one is not more important than the other, or certainly that's how I've always approached it. So, your main form of communication obviously is with the client. And through the client, and that's the studio representative, and whether many times it's the marketing team, it's the PR team, it's the event team. And through them, you are receiving the information both from a marketing standpoint, what things need to look like, or the things that you need to achieve. And also you're hearing about the talent. You're also hearing about studio execs, the filmmakers that are involved. So you're taking in all that information and then you're disseminating it and putting together a plan. You're putting together the production, whether it is with generators, whether it's lighting, whether it's carpet, whether it's scenic, whether it's catering, kind of all those elements then play into this production that you're putting together. And again, I always, and I had to learn this early on, that everyone thinks they're the most important element, right? And in some sense, they are for what they need to do. But as a producer, everyone is created equal, certainly in my eyes. I can't do this without anyone or any of them, or I have to say all of them matter. So, and everyone plays a part how the success of the other one. And to me, when everyone is successful, we all feel that goodwill, right, from the client.
And how, like, what's an average planning length for something like that? These things happen very last minute and it's a mad scramble. Has the pandemic changed anything in regards? I mean, I know you joined, I guess, maybe towards the end of the pandemic, joined back towards the end of the pandemic. I don't know if you can speak to that, but I'm curious if that has had any impact on the business.
Well, regarding timelines, it's interesting. When I first started in the industry 20 plus years ago, there were a handful of studios. There weren't really streamers at that point, and a lot of the traditional network television shows didn't do premieres. So what has really changed, particularly since after or during the pandemic and after, are the element of the streamers now, whether it's Netflix, Amazon, Paramount Plus, because they are doing premieres as well, and they don't follow, we'll say, a traditional like a summer season or specialty film in the fall or Christmas blockbuster type events. It could happen January through December. So those timelines can vary. Often I would say I'm already working on big holiday films. We started working on those a few months ago. The I Am Celine premiere, I had 3 to 4 months to work on. Some because of last minute changes, whether something is launching sooner on a streamer, all of a sudden your timeline becomes much shortened. So I would say, in average, let's say you have 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks on something.
It's not a ton of time.
No, but enough. But again, because we are a well-oiled machine at 1540, we have those elements into place. We know the deadlines that need to be achieved. We know, how fast the art department needs to work, and oftentimes the biggest thing, and I always say, and everyone I would think would agree with this, it's all about communication. You have to clearly communicate. You have to focus on those points that you need to get across, those deadlines that you need to meet. And the more you communicate and the clearer that you are, to me, I've always found the greater success that you're going to find. And it allows you, you can plan, and any producer out there, a person who's been doing events for a little bit, you can put all the planning into place, but something might happen. And I always look at it as like you put all the planning into place so that if something does happen, you're prepared to respond.
Yeah, I'm sure there must be a lot of all kinds of plan Bs, plan Cs, plan Zs when you're dealing with the level that you're dealing with. And what are some of the, because I know we talked earlier, you've planned many types of events. You've done like big 7-figure weddings, you've done corporate events, you've done social events. Do you find that there's anything that's really unique challenges when it comes to producing like a premiere versus another kind of event?
Initially, because I was so excited to come on here, and I reflected a little on my career in producing events. And, I think it'd be easy to say, when I was producing weddings, and I was producing weddings all over the world, it's that emotional element, right? Or it's that a family's involved, or you're celebrating the love between two people. But when I started kind of diving down even deeper, ultimately, though, to me, or for me, producing events, there really isn't any difference. I bring the same passion. I've looked to achieving the same level of success, people walking away happy, enjoying themselves, remembering this as a wonderful evening, whatever it might be, whether it is for the, celebrating a premiere of a new film, or, a new corporate success, or two people falling in love. To me, it's all the same.
Yeah, an event is an event, I suppose. I just didn't know if there was anything really specific about working on premieres that was.
Well, the funny thing is, you could say like, you want to make the bride and the groom happy, right? Ultimately, you're producing a wedding. But like I just worked on a film. I won't name it. Well, any film really. It was a studio premiere, and I was so excited when I heard that the lead of the film, she was so happy with what we had done, that put a smile on my face. So it's that same feeling, right? I've always approached this of, I love making people happy, and I love listening to their dreams, their hopes, whether it's a filmmaker and it's their first film, or someone who's been in the business for years and they've kind of, been there, done that, and that they show up and they walk into the tent, or they walk onto the carpet, and they see it all out in front of them, and they have this big smile on their face. For me, I know that myself and the team, we've done it. We've gotten there. We've found a level of success.
I think most event people can relate to that feeling when you've pulled it off. Yes. And the client is ecstatic. It usually makes all the BS worth it, right?
Absolutely.
And all the stress, usually. Now, I sort of a more personal question, more personal interest, because I find you to be a very inspiring person. Any advice for event planners, people in the industry who've been through a lot, had hoped their careers would be further along by now? What is your advice, having the experience that you have specifically in events, because it's a very tough business. A lot of people burn out. There's a lot of mental health issues. So what is your best advice to planners or people in the industry out there?
One, I think that's a great question, because it's something that I have to ask myself consistently, right? Like, and I would say to those that are listening, if you're not doing it, if you're frustrated with your level of success right now, take a step back for a moment. Look at the success that you've had and be proud of it. and then look without kind of that emotional charge to it, or that criticism, or that critical voice that so often we have in our head, like, well, we should have done that, or, you know, look at them, or why didn't we get that job, or whatever it is. You know, look to see what you could do differently. And, you know, I don't know if anybody listening follows Gary Vee.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
someone
Well,
who
I do.
Yeah.
He was
He's
very inspiring in the early part of my career. You know, what was that
I
book
love
called?
that.
Crush It. Crush It was
Yes.
a game changer for me. Yeah.
So one of the things, you know, I happened to speak on a panel last year, and he was the main speaker beforehand. And he looked out at this audience, you know, a crowd of 500 plus people. And he you know, everyone's like, tell me what to do, or tell me how I should change. Or it was all these event planners and producers in kind of the different areas of the business. And I so appreciate him saying this. He looked out into the crowd. He goes, you know, if I tell you 95% of you aren't going to do it. And you heard these groans and everything like that. And they're like, tell us. And he goes, you need to be uncomfortable. And they're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're like, what aren't you doing for your business? What aren't you doing for yourself? And then look back, why aren't I doing it? You know, social media. Are you promoting yourself? I've met so many people, particularly when I found some level of success on all the different social platforms. You know, like, how do you do it? I feel so uncomfortable to do it. I go, well, that's part of it. You have to many times to bump up, like, or to tip forward, or to, you know, to expand your business, or even your personal experience. You need to be uncomfortable. And so many people are like, well, I don't understand. I don't feel comfortable posting or take a picture or something like that. You know, and what Gary was saying, he goes, what's that critical voice that's stopping you from doing these things? You know, and where I am today, listen, at 57 years old, I'm still curious. I still want to learn about this business. I still want to, and still am learning different ways to do things. You know, and because every event, yes, there are plans, there are line plans, there are things that we know that you put into place to achieve success with an event. And 1540 is incredible at doing that. Like, we have so many different people that come into play to supporting our clients, but we're always looking to how we can be better as a company. And then also for me, how I can be even that much better as an individual producer. So I would say to anybody listening, like, take a step back, look to see what more you could be doing. You know, and, you know, Arthur, we talked about, you know, I was listening to you, and you are a multi-hyphenate. You are doing multiple things right now, and that's fantastic. You know, you don't have to do just one thing in this industry right now. You know, and if you want to be a stronger event producer or planner, you know, partner with someone. Partner with someone who you think is doing such a phenomenal job, and you're inspired by them, whether it's a florist, whether it's a set designer or a scenic builder, or whomever it might be. Look to say, like, I would love to work with you.
I think that's great advice. And I really resonate with the stepping out of your comfort zone. That's what this show is for me, is me stepping out of my comfort zone and creating content this way. Cause, you know, I have some production skills. So this works for me. You know, maybe for you, it's doing many takes at home on your phone until you get the right take. For me, it's just, you know, I'm more of a just get it done, get stuff out there. It's never going to be perfect. Good enough is good enough, you know, and just put content out and, you know, show people what you're interested in.
And one of the things, Arthur, you know, we were talking about previously is, you know, the behind the scenes. You know, if you're looking to grow your business, or people don't know about you, and that's how you can raise awareness, and it's word of mouth. And, you know, one of the great things, you know, 1540 is done, and we have someone in-house who does our social media, and you know, even when I was at the Hollywood Reporter, you know, yes, people loved, like, the slick, you know, pictures or the interviews, or they also love the behind the scenes. And what, you know, particularly we as this group of event producers, it is the behind the scenes that helps build the event, right? So bring your clients or bring your customers behind the scenes with you. Listen, you have to be very respectful, and something that I'm always respectful of my client and their level of comfort. but I assert, and that's again about communicating, but people want to see how something is built. See, people want to see how you ideate and come up and you brainstorm with this new way of doing something, or how this visual you're going to translate into a step and repeat or swag or something along those lines. But again, if you want to grow your business, begin to expand beyond what you're already doing. And social media, as Gary Vee says, right now it's free. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of growing it. And again, what you were saying is like, do it. You know, the great thing about TikTok, and as crazy as it is, right, is whereas Instagram, right, and Facebook, it was all about filters and perfect imagery, and so TikTok kind of blew that up, and it really is about that raw, authentic storytelling. And that's what we do producing events. It is authentic storytelling in the moment, and bring your clients, your followers, bring potential new clients along with you.
I think that's absolutely brilliant advice. And I strive to do some of that stuff too, but also need to do better. And
we can all do better. We can all do better.
We definitely can. We definitely can. Now, we're coming close to the end of the show. This has been such a great conversation. I feel like I could talk to you for a really, really long time and just, pick your brain. But as we transition into the final segment of the show, because you've had the opportunity to, I presume, meet a lot of A-list celebrities, probably just living in LA, you get to bump into celebrities, but working the job that you work, you must come across a lot of celebrities. So who is your favorite, and what is your favorite celebrity encounter?
Oh, Arthur.
Too many
too many. Listen, here's well, first let me say, I'm very grateful for the career that I've had. I've had the opportunities that have come my way. I have thoroughly embraced, even when there were some of the most challenging moments, right? I still take away from that like a level of gratitude, level of pride, a level of joy, that because of that. And, for me, being involved with Hollywood premieres, because of my background, gives me a little extra joy, right? But a little extra skip in my step, so to speak. And I have to say, and probably because it's top of mind, there have been a number of moments in my career that stand out. Certainly one was, before I forget, one thing I have learned about dealing with or interacting with, we'll say, some of the most recognizable faces in the world or in the industry is we're all human. We all have feelings. We all have bad days. We all have good days. We all want to feel seen and heard. And some of my success, because many times I would be hired just to be a part of an event because of my understanding of some of those talented people. And because I got that, I saw them, and they saw that, and they felt respected and seen. And oftentimes it was just that, as opposed to, these rumors of bad behavior or difficult to deal with or whatever it might be, right? Again, at the end of the day, and I know it might sound cheesy or it sound ridiculous or whatever, everyone is human, as famous as they might be, but everyone is human. And so two things that stick out from my past experience. I think one of the greatest event experiences was when I had the opportunity to work with Oprah Winfrey for a few years. And one was opening her school in South Africa, and to be in the room with just her and Gail and the person whose team I was on. It was one, very humbling, but also it reminded me that we all have the opportunity to be of service. And I look at this, and that's what I bring to the table with all of my clients at 1540. Our clients is we are being of service. We are here to support them and support what they need to get done and what they hope to achieve. And the other one, it just so happened because of the clip that you showed, was Ryan Reynolds is one of my favorite actors. He continuously makes me smile. I find him touching. I find him endearing. And there was a moment on the If carpet where it was a young reporter. He could have, I think he was 10 years old.
Okay.
So he was only yay tall, right? And Ryan is making his way down, and I happen to be, I'm overseeing everything. I'm making sure everything's running smoothly, the lights, everything's flowing, the whole thing. And I happen to be there right behind the young reporter. And Ryan comes up, and the moment that they engaged, and Ryan is obviously standing, I think he's like 6'2" or whatever it might be. And you just saw him, he shifted, and he saw this young boy, and he got down on his knees so that they were closer eye to eye, and how he had this wonderful conversation with him, and wasn't talking down to him like a child, right? But because he was there to do his job. And it was so moving for me to listen to how they were speaking and engaging and laughing. And again, I already had such a respect for him as a producer, as an actor, what he's done just in business, but it just it gets me emotional, because I think so often we lose sight of the humanity of all this. And again, I know I get a little cheesy when it comes to that, and these big grand things that but at the end of the day, it's these human moments, these human experiences that we have. And the most recognizable people can be up on stage or behind the scenes, or the person, whether it's setting up or driving a truck or doing a job or doing an interview, and you're 10 years old. We're all here to participate and to do something, and to watch that. I will never forget that moment for the rest of my life.
I love that story. Well, we, up here in Canada, we love Ryan Reynolds because
yes, of course,
he's a Canuck, and I just personally love, a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds. Obviously, he's hilarious, and everything he touches turns to gold. So, not surprised to hear that about him, but also pleasantly, it's pleasant to hear a nice, touching story like that. Yeah. So now, because you have worked with so many celebrities, we're just gonna have a little bit of fun here before we wrap up the show. I want to put you to the test, and I'm going to show you some celebrities' faces that have been mashed together, and let's see if you can tell who they are. Okay. Now, I've seen them now. Some of them I've looked at, and I was like, even knowing who they are, my brain was just completely messed up. So let's start. Okay. So first up, we have this photo. It looks very obvious who it is. Can you tell?
It looks like Emma Stone.
Okay, good. Emma Stone mixed with, who would you say that is? And when I tell you, you're just going to be like, oh my God.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You know what? I'm going to say, look at the eyes. Look at the eyes.
I don't know.
Okay. That one is Mila Kunis and Emma Stone. Can you see it?
Yes, I now see it. Yes, those eyes.
All right, let's try this one.
Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt.
Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt. Yay. Okay. So 1 for 1. Let's try this one.
Mick Jagger. Oh gosh, do I get a clue?
No.
He's
very popular right now. He appeared on American Idol, or was it X Factor? Got his start on one of those singing shows.
Oh, Harry Styles.
Harry Styles. Okay, let's try this one.
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, you get that. That's obvious. Yep. By the way, we have a comment here from Jennifer Payne on the LinkedIn. She says, love this interview. This non-celebrity can say that working with Eric is an absolute pleasure. He and 1540 are the real deal.
Oh, Jen, thanks.
Jen,
Oh, gosh.
Jen, do you know who this is? Jen, can you tell? It's Chris Hemsworth, and if you're out there in the chat, you can put it in the chat if you know who it is. Eric, do you think you know who it might be?
I don't.
It's in the eyes. I got to tell you, it's in the eyes. Some people have said he's gone through a very radical facial change.
Oh, Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. Congratulations. Okay, next up. Again, this one is obvious at first.
Al Pacino and Robert De Niro.
Hey, very good. You get confetti for that. I think we have one more. Let's see. Okay, let's try this one.
Oh,
Jennifer Payne did get it, by the way. She got Zac Efron. Yeah.
Good job, Jen. Oh.
Let us know, Jennifer, if you can, if you know who this is.
I'm not.
So it's an artist. It's an artist from the 70s, and a grunge artist.
I'm not sure.
So the first one. Anyone in the chat want to take a guess? Think Ziggy Stardust.
Oh, David Bowie and.
Okay.
What was the other clue?
Grunge.
Oh, Kurt Cobain.
Yes. You got it. Okay, we have one more. Okay,
right.
Let's try this one.
Oh, Billie Eilish and. Clue. Can I get a clue? Can I get a lifeline?
Let's see. She's an actor, but she also sings too. A lot of people don't know that. There was some controversy around her voice being used. Ooh. Jennifer, you got this one, Jennifer? Let's see if Jennifer's got it in the chat.
Does she?
I don't know. We're on a bit of a delay, so we'll have to see. So Billie, she's in a bunch of Marvel movies. Oh yeah, Jennifer's got it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Billie Eilish and Scarlett Johansson.
That's it. Congratulations, Eric. Well, Eric, this has been a enlightening and just pleasant interview and conversation. I am so grateful that you came on the show and that we got the opportunity to meet and learn a little bit more about 1540 and yourself and all the things that you guys have been up to. If people want to get in touch or they want to work with 1540, what's the best way to do that?
You can certainly reach out to our website. You can DM me if you want. I can put you in contact with the team. But yeah, there's many different ways you can reach out and we can connect.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been great to connect. And, check out Eric Rutherford online. He's got some stuff on social as well, 1540 as well. You can check their website out if you're interested in working with them. And I'm going to say goodbye to Eric now. Again, Eric, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again another time.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have it. That is takes the show to an end. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed the content, please do give it a like, subscribe, follow me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever is your preference, or all of them. I try to post natively and different content to all those different platforms. And you can also follow That's Entertaining Podcast on LinkedIn and TikTok. And I think that's about it for today. I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.
Show your kids they king.